highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
The relationship between Abraham Lincoln and his eldest son, Robert, whom I play in the movie, was a strained relationship. When Robert was young and growing up, before Abraham Lincoln was president, he was out on the circuit and working all the time and really not there very much for his son. And that was a strain that Daniel and I were really intent on bringing to our scenes.
She picked him, knew he would be president. She honed him. She came from a political family, from money. She was raised by slaves. She had tremendous education for a woman at the time. So she honed him. She would dress him and criticize him for his slang and try to get him to tell less jokes, and was his closest confidant and advisor until he got to the White House, and then the cabinet took over. She was sort of forced out at that time, but remained his closest confidant, and they hated her for it. You know, Washington hated her because she wouldn't go upstairs to the living quarters and shut up, and she felt determined to make the White House something of stature that she felt the country needed a symbol to be fighting for at that time. The Civil War was happening. So she was extremely important in American history. She was the first lady. That's where the term was coined, and it wasn't coined out of affection.
The name is a historical figure. He was a very successful Nashville attorney who had also made a lot of money in a land deal having to do with coal mining down south. And he had known Seward politically and so on prior to these events depicted in the film. The incidents that take place in the film in which Bilbo is associated with, the different scenes, and also Latham and Shell, are a composite. They were, I think at the time, originally they were 6 or 7. I may be off in terms of that figure, but they were more lobbyists that were involved in this project. And that was distilled down to 3.
This settles the fate for all coming time, not only of the millions now in bondage, but of unborn millions to come. Shall we stop this bleeding?